You won't believe what's happening with the Los Angeles Chargers right now. Things are finally starting to click. After a huge win over the Minnesota Vikings, this team might just be turning the corner. And trust me, there's even more good news coming out of this one. If you're new here, welcome. We might be Detroit Lions fans, but this channel is fully dedicated to the Los Angeles Chargers, giving you an outsider's honest take on your team. Before we dive into today's latest news, make sure to subscribe to the channel, drop a like, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss a single Chargers update. Alright, let's get into it. Coming off that big win against Minnesota, you could just feel the energy shift. It wasn't just a victory, it was domination from start to finish. And the best part? This week, the Chargers get an even shorter turnaround with Thursday Night Football. After a win like that, you want to play again. You want to keep that fire burning. Now, after the game, the excitement didn't stop. The box score told an even better story. Aranda Gatson, 2 straight weeks of stepping up, showing consistency, and making plays that matter. You love to see that kind of growth. But there's another storyline building too, Ladd McConkey. A bit of a slow start, and fans are starting to wonder, is he really our number one guy? Is he going through that classic sophomore slump, or is he just getting warmed up for something big? Either way, there's a lot to unpack, and things are only heating up from here. Stay with me, because what's coming next could change how we look at this Chargers offense completely. You know what's crazy? All those questions we had just a week ago, they're finally getting answered. People were saying, what if Ladd McConkey doesn't step up, or what if Aranda Gatson isn't as good as we hoped, or even, do we even have a solid run game? Well, every single one of those doubts just got crushed. The Chargers didn't just respond, they made a statement. Let's talk about it. Defensively, this team looked like the Chargers we've been waiting to see. Relentless pressure on the quarterback, tight coverage, and total control. Justin Jefferson, one of the league's best, couldn't get into rhythm. That's how you know this defense came ready to play. And holding Minnesota to just 10 points? That's not luck. That's discipline. That's preparation. Remember, the Vikings aren't a bad football team, they've just been inconsistent. But the Chargers didn't care. They locked in, took control, and never let go. Now here's the fun part. Even the Minnesota media couldn't ignore it. I was reading through their own post-game coverage, and it was all there. Their main takeaway? Carson Wentz struggled. But why? Because the Chargers' defense made him uncomfortable on every snap. Constant pressure, great coverage, it was textbook execution. This wasn't just a win. This was the kind of performance that sends a message to the rest of the league, the Chargers are done making excuses, they're here to compete. And trust me, what's coming next might surprise you even more. Stay with me. You could feel it from the start, the Vikings just couldn't get out of their own way. Mistake after mistake, penalty after penalty. They were shooting themselves in the foot all game long, and the Chargers? They made them pay for every single one. See, this is what separates an average team from a good one. Every game has slip-ups, a dropped pass here, a blown coverage there, but when the other team capitalizes on those moments, that's when it really matters. And that's exactly what the Chargers did. Every time Minnesota stumbled, Los Angeles hit back harder. They didn't let opportunities slide by, they turned them into points, momentum, and confidence. That's championship mentality. And let's talk about third downs, because this is where the difference really showed. Minnesota's defense completely fell apart on those key plays, and the Chargers, led by their veteran quarterback, didn't miss a beat. Calm, patient, precise. He picked apart their defense like it was practice. Those long third downs that used to kill drives? Not this time. 3rd and 14. Boom, a smart run, a field goal, clock control. Every decision was calculated. Every play had purpose. This wasn't luck. This was execution, plain and simple. The Chargers didn't just win, they outsmarted the Vikings. And the best part? This looks like just the beginning of something bigger. Stay with me, because what's coming next could prove this team's transformation is real. When you break it down, the Chargers were nearly perfect on third downs, only 2 they couldn't convert. The rest? Pure execution. 8-yard touchdown. 17-yard strike. 15-yard dime. 10-yard laser. Even a 9-yard scramble that kept the drive alive. That's the kind of rhythm you dream about as an offense. Every play clicking. Every drive building momentum. Now, let's talk about something no one saw coming, Vidal. Yeah, if you haven't heard that name before, you're not alone. But after this game, you'll remember it. Against a tough Vikings run defense, Vidal stepped up big time, 23 carries, 117 yards, and a touchdown. That's not just filling in, that's making a statement. And this right here is why you don't panic every time injuries hit. Sure, the instinct is always, let's make a trade. Let's bring in somebody new. But this is the NFL, it's next man up. You need players who can rise when their number is called. Vidal did exactly that. When his team needed him, he didn't just show up, he took over. He proved that depth matters, that preparation matters, and that sometimes, the answer is already on your roster. So yeah, the Chargers didn't just win this game, they discovered something. Maybe even someone. And trust me, what that means for the rest of the season could be huge. Stay with me. Alright, let's dig into the numbers, because the box score tells the real story of this game. Carson Wentz. 15 completions for 144 yards. That's it. That's the game right there. The Vikings tried to run the ball, 11 attempts, 34 yards total. You can't win football games like that. It's over before it even starts. Meanwhile, the Chargers? A completely different story. 43 rushing attempts for 207 yards. Let that sink in. That's power football. That's control. That's domination. If you looked at those numbers without even seeing the final score, you'd know exactly who won. The team that controlled the ground game, controlled the tempo, the Chargers. And how about the weapons stepping up? Ladd Manenke, Aranda Gatson, and oh yeah, Trey Harris. You might have forgotten about him, but he reminded everyone he's still a playmaker. The way he moved, the way he positioned himself, that's a guy ready to earn his role again. And then there's Keenan Allen, the steady veteran presence. Only 4 catches for 44 yards, but every single one mattered. Classic Keenan. A clutch third down grab, a perfectly timed route along the sideline, he just does the little things that keep drives alive. That's what makes this offense dangerous. It's not just about flash, it's about balance, chemistry, and execution. And if they keep playing like this, that rhythm might be impossible to stop. Stay with me, because what's next could define how far this team really goes. What a game, absolutely loved everything about it. And here's the best part, the timing couldn't be more perfect. You know how Thursday night games usually get a bad reputation? Short rest, sloppy play, weird energy, we've all seen it. But when you win on Thursday night? It's completely different. You get that mini bye week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 5 full days to rest, recover, and reset before getting back to work. And for the Chargers, that's huge. Now sitting at 5-3, with a 3-2 record at home, this team has earned the right to take a deep breath. A few days off. A moment to regroup. Then it's back to business. And just when things were starting to look rough a week ago, boom,